Welcome everybody to our 4:30 performance. We are going to be doing Tonight at the Stage Door. This is written by Donald Loftus. It is starring Scott Nixon, Dominic Pecikonis, and it is directed by Ashley White. Enjoy, everyone.
Setting: a bare, dark stage at the Broadway Theater in New York City. There is a stage lamp or ghost light downstage center, but it is unlit. The curtain or grand drape is open. The upstage bare brick wall is exposed. The theater is silent. At stage left is the stage door leading to the outside. A well-worn chair is positioned near the stage door. On the interior side of the stage door is a sign that reads, "Shh, performance in progress." The exterior reads, "Stage door." Upstage, there are 2 wooden stools and an electric teapot, which is plugged into a wall socket. Time: tonight, 11:30 p.m. At Rise, Charlie, the theater's night watchman, sits slouched in his chair near the stage door. He is asleep and softly snoring.
Hello?
What the? Who the devil is here at this time?
Hello? Can anybody hear me?
Hear you? Jesus Christ, they can hear you in Harlem.
Hello? Is anybody there?
Go away.
No, but
We are closed.
what?
We're closed. The virus, the pandemic. Do you live under a rock? Surely by now you must be aware that something is going.
You don't understand.
No, apparently you don't understand. We are closed. You numbskull. Now go away.
Charlie? Charlie, it's me, Jimmy.
Me? Jimmy who?
Charlie, it's me, Jimmy. I'm in the chorus.
You're in the chorus of what?
Well, I was in the chorus of West Side Story. I'm anxious.
Yeah, you sound anxious.
No, I mean, I play anxious. Or rather, I played anxious before the pandemic shut us down.
Anxious is the name of a character?
Yes, you know me. It hasn't been that long. Surely you must remember.
I don't remember any character called Anxious. Snowboy, Mouthpiece, Arab, these I know, but I do not know any Anxious.
Okay. Maybe you know me as Chorus Boy 7.
Chorus Boy 7? So now you're Chorus Boy 7?
Well, not now, but before the virus, I was Chorus Boy 7. That's how the director referred to me.
Oh, how nice. He couldn't call you by your name?
Well, I didn't have any lines. I don't know why they even gave my character a name. Anxious. It was a small part.
Hey, kid, there are no small parts.
Yeah, right.
And in fact, now there are no parts, period, because we're closed.
I know, but please.
So please, go home now, anxious boy.
Oh, wait, Charlie, please. Could you please open the door? It's freezing out here.
I'm sorry, but I'm not to open the door for anyone.
But I'm in the show.
There is no show. Haven't you heard? We're shut down.
Charlie, please, just let me come in out of the cold.
Okay. Let me get the hand sanitizer. Do not touch the doorknob until you use the hand sanitizer. God, where is that stuff? It's dark as pitch out here. Oh, there we go. Okay. You come in, but keep your distance. 6 feet away.
Thank you, Charlie.
Oh, Jesus. You are shivering. Your lips are blue.
Yes, I know. I'm so cold. I'm freezing.
Damn. Here, let me get you some hot tea.
I have to.
Oh, bullshit. You're shaking. I will get you some tea. Here you go.
Thank you. Thank you, Charlie.
All right. You are not dressed nearly warm enough. What the hell is wrong with you? You trying to catch your death?
No, I just don't have any clothes for this weather.
What? You didn't see it coming? It's freaking March in New York City. It's always cold as a penguin's pecker.
I only recently came up from Wickenburg.
Wiccan what?
Wickenburg, a small town in Arizona, a small hot town. It's like 80 degrees there tonight. I don't really have anything appropriate for this weather.
You were going to get sick running around like that.
I know, but I was about to get some things and the show closed.
Why are you even out on such a night? There's a curfew.
I know.
You can get in a lot of trouble.
My landlord threw me out.
He what?
And he's keeping whatever possessions I do have as collateral for the back rent.
What? How could he do that when we are going through this crisis?
I know, right?
How could he be such a prick? Gosh.
Well, truth be told, I was already behind on my rent, and then the show closed. And he said it was the last straw.
Well, that's horrible. So, are you going back to Wackingbird?
Wickenburg. No, I can't. I don't have any money. I can't even afford bus fare to Brooklyn, let alone Arizona.
Well, maybe if your folks could send you some, like a wire transfer.
I just have my mom, and she has less money than I have. Besides, it would break her heart.
You mean she's worried about you?
More than that, she was so proud of me getting into a Broadway show.
Yeah, I'm sure she was.
Me getting to Broadway, that's been a dream she and I have shared since I was a kid.
Ah, well, that's kind of nice. The two of you could share a dream like that.
I think she probably wanted it for herself in the early days, and once she realized it wasn't going to happen for her, she decided to devote her efforts to see that someday it would happen for me.
But what about your dad? Was he cool with all of this?
And my dad left when I was 7, ran off with some hooker. My mom spent every day since then taking care of me, looking out for me, trying to help me make my dreams come true. Our dream. When I was a kid, in addition to her day job, she took in laundry at night just so I could afford to go to dance class. And so when I got the part on Broadway...
Of Anxious.
Well, yeah. But I mean, when I got cast in West Side Story, she just lit up like a marquee. It would break her heart to see where I am now.
Yeah, but she must have known that Broadway was closing down. It's been happening all over the world, even in Wackingbird.
Wickenburg. Yes, but I convinced her it's just temporary and that I was doing fine. I cannot let her know.
So what are you going to do? Is there a friend that you could, call?
No, I don't have any friends. I've been in rehearsals every minute since I arrived. I haven't had time to make friends.
So what are you going to do?
I don't know.
Well, where are you going to sleep?
Well, that's just it. I was hoping I could stay here.
What? Here? No, that's not possible.
But no one would have to know.
Forget about it. Get that idea right out of your head.
But the theater is closed.
That's right. It is.
You are the only one here. No one would have to know.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's just not possible.
But I have nowhere else to go.
Oh, there must be somewhere.
No, there's not. Why can't you just let me do this? I won't be a problem.
Look, if I tell you something, you got to promise to tell no one.
Okay.
Really, I mean it. If I help you out, you got to promise me, and not just for now. You got to promise that you will never, ever.
Okay. I promise never, ever. What is it?
I am the night watchman here, but I also live here.
What?
And nobody knows it. I also got thrown out nearly 20 years ago, but not by a heartless landlord. Mine was worse. I got thrown out by a heartless wife.
Holy shit.
Well, it's not her fault. The marriage was doomed from day one. When she kicked me out while I was working here, not making enough to get a place of my own with the child support. Yeah.
You got a kid?
Well, not so much a kid anymore. She's nearly 22. Oh. Yeah. Huh?
Oh, she's beautiful.
She is, isn't she? Her name is Maria.
Maria, say it loud and there's music playing.
Yeah, kind of ironic, right? And like your mom is proud of you, I am very proud of her. She is just finishing up her senior year at Yale Drama. Like you, she wants to be an actor. God only knows why.
Well, that's fantastic, but Yale, that's expensive. Are you paying her tuition?
Not on this salary. Nah, she got a scholarship. But I do send her, what I can. So anyway, the secret is, I too am homeless, or would be, except I live here, in the basement of the Broadway Theater, as I have for nearly 20 years. And nobody, until now, has ever known it.
That is quite a story, but why are you telling me? I mean, after all these years.
Well, I think now, more than ever, we all need to do what we can to help each other. The world is a mess, and I see you are in deep trouble. I want to help you.
I think I'm gonna cry.
Well, go on then. Cry. This is a theater. We are supposed to feel free to express our emotions in this particular cathedral.
Yeah, I guess so.
The other reason is I'm helping you is because of my Maria. When she comes to New York to become an actress, she too will struggle. All actors do. All artists do. I would hope that if she ever found herself in your situation, someone would help her too.
Truly, I can't tell you how much this means to me.
There are unused dressing rooms in the basement.
There's a basement?
Oh, well, nobody knows about it, and no one remembers the dressing rooms are there. It's from back in the day when the shows had casts of 60 or 70. The door is right behind those flats at stage left. I use the men's dressing room down there, and you can use the women's. Now, there's a couch down there, too. It'll need to be cleaned out, though. It's kind of a mess right now. But it is warm because you'll be near the furnace.
I cannot believe this, Charlie. I will never forget this day.
You mean this night?
Yes, this night. Tonight.
Tonight won't be just any night.
Tonight there will be no morning star.
Tonight.
You've saved my life tonight.
And for us, stars will stop where they are. Today, the minutes seem like hours. The hours go so slowly, and still the sky is light.
Thank you, Charlie.
My pleasure, friend. And here is to better times.
To better times. What the hell is that? It sounds like a mass panic.
Oh, the nightly delivery truck just pulled up to CVS. The toilet paper is in.
Great job, actors. Congratulations. Great job to Ashley on the fantastic direction. Donald, if you would like to join me, we will have our Q&A. Hello, welcome. You're muted. It's part of Zoom.
All right, thank you.
No, you're good. You're good. Welcome, welcome.
Thank
All
you.
right, audience. If you have any questions for our playwright, we would love to take them now. Just ask on the live stream, and I will keep tabs with that. But to start off, Donald, where are you sheltering in place right now?
In New York. Not far from the Broadway Theater, actually.
Oh my gosh, wonderful. How is it going up there?
It's surreal. I mean, the city is absolutely empty, and I mean, people are being very careful. They're keeping the 6 feet, and those who are out are wearing masks. But it's pretty. I mean, I look out my windows, and the streets are absolutely bare. There's no traffic, and you see buses go by with nobody on them, and it's really eerie and surreal.
That is crazy. I mean, I lived up in New York for a little while, and I can tell you the streets were never bare.
Right?
Unless,
I know. At 3 o'clock in the morning, they're not fair. I know, it's really
unless there's like extra snow that they couldn't handle for a little
right,
bit.
right.
That's crazy. I would love to ask about your inspiration for this piece.
Well, I'm in a couple of playwriting groups, and have known a lot of actors, for years and years and years. And it's a very tough life. And I just saw the revival of West Side Story at the Broadway Theater just before this whole thing happened. And it's a huge cast, and there's a lot of young performers who are unknowns. I remember thinking to myself, it must be so exciting for them to have worked so hard and to have gotten into a Broadway show, and then the pandemic happened, and it's crushing for everybody. I mean, people have had, and God knows it's worse for people who have lost people or have lost their lives. But I just thought, it's such a struggle to get to Broadway and to finally get into a show that was being talked about so much, because it's, this very famous director, and it's, it's Bernstein and Sondheim and whatever. And, and the show is very controversial because it's not traditional, but it's a huge cast. And I thought there actually is a character named Anxious. I didn't make that up. They're actually in the program, a guy with no words. He was a young man who played Anxious. And I just thought, there are probably kids there who, finally got in, and then to have the show close really before it even opened, before it had its official Broadway opening, must just be devastating for them. It's just one of the devastations that, are happening around the world, of course. But I thought, acting theater is such a difficult career to choose anyway. You really have to be brave to sustain a career in theater. And this is, it's obviously totally unseen. No one had any idea that this would be coming, or what's going to happen afterwards. Once this is done, after it's, somewhat safe to go out again, how is that going to change the world and how we think of theater and what we do and what we write?
Yes.
All that,
I loved the interesting exchanges with the characters, because I feel like even though literally one of the characters is living in the theater and that is his home, I feel like many of us see theater as a figurative home. We are at home on a stage, and it's kind of been ripped away from us. And it's just such an interesting time. And I really like that you kind of grapple with the struggle between health and safety, and also taking away jobs from actors and the economy, and exactly that, the struggle of working so hard your entire life to get to Broadway. I mean, as you said, West Side Story is mostly of actors who are making their Broadway debut.
Sure.
Many other shows.
It's that of course is one crushing part, to lose a job and when you've finally been cast. But when actors are not acting, they're waiters. All the restaurants are closed, or they're bartenders, or or those are service jobs like that, and they're all closed. I mean, everything's closed in New York. So the they're freelance, really. I mean, they're not employees of a company that's going to get benefits or continue them going. And I really worry about that whole community. All the creative people who are involved in theater, from writers to actors, chorus people, to the ushers who pass out the programs. I mean, it's really a scary time for them. And I have to say, though, all that said, the attitude of most of the people that I've come in contact with in New York is very positive. I mean, they're really, as they were after 9/11, they really are viewing this as an opportunity for maybe people to get more forgiving and closer and more caring than they were in the world that existed just before we went into this. So I think people are trying to remain as positive as possible through it all.
Good. Benjamin Fratcher has a question. He says, do you know of people who have lived in a Broadway theater?
No, but Sondheim wrote a play years ago for television, actually, and Anthony Perkins starred in it. And it was about It's called Evening Primrose, and it's about a guy, a poet, who couldn't face life anymore, and he hid in a department store, and then decided he was going to live his life there. And it's a fascinating thing. You should look it up on YouTube or wherever it might be. But it's and he just thought this will be a great way. It's all there. There's clothing, there's food, and so on. And I can, when the store is closed, why not? And I when I was at the Broadway Theater to see, and it's actually called the Broadway. This particular theater where West Side Story is playing is called the Broadway Theater on Broadway, and it's a huge, huge theater. And and I thought I was sort of I'd not been in there I think for years, and I was shocked at the size of it. And then thinking about the close down, and there are homeless people on the streets who are freezing, and there are terrible things. Meanwhile, there are these buildings that are just sitting, these cathedrals, really, these huge spaces that are just empty. And not that I think we should initially open it up for people to sleep in, but someone could. I do think it's believable that someone could, like this doorman, if his job is the night doorman, who's going to know if he's there 24/7? It could happen. So,
especially when everything's closed.
Yeah,
for sure. Well, I'll give a few more minutes for the audience to open it up for questions. But I will say one of the most touching moments of the reading was this night watchman and this actor singing together.
Yeah, I think I have to cut that a little bit. It's a little long, but they did. The actors did a great job, and the director too. They really did a terrific job. But I think that goes on a bit long. So yeah, that's why we do this, so we can hear what needs to be trimmed.
Exactly. I mean, and the singing is so healing, and I think it reminds us that theater is still healing, even though we're in a just very weird stage of performance.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can get back to the stage soon.
Yeah.
All right. Well, do you have any questions for the audience about the piece?
No, I mean, one of the questions, I've been in 2 writing groups in New York, and one of the things that came up was, do we really care about his father that he ran off with another? I needed a way to have the mother raising the son alone, but I mean, the father could have died or whatever. And one of the comments I got from my writing group was, we don't hear about that, so we don't really care about that. He ran off with a prostitute or whatever the father did. So that'd be one question, like, did that bother you? Or was there anything else that took you out of it for a moment? Like did the daughter going to Yale drama, does that work for you, or did that throw you off, out of the play? But other than that, I don't.
Yeah. And do you have any advice for aspiring playwrights?
First of all, I've really congratulations to you and your theater group. It's wonderful today. I've been on since it started. I'll come again tomorrow and listen to the balance of today. As I mentioned, I belong to these 2 writing groups. I really recommend that if you're an aspiring playwright to join these groups, and if you're an actor who has a group in their town that has writing groups, I really recommend that you join as well, because it's great. We've cast a lot of stuff from this group where writers meet actors and then recommend those actors to go on to do the productions and so on. So it's a great way to just get connections. But it's also, in both of my groups, every week I take something that I've written and I hear it aloud, and then the room discusses it. And it's helped me shape plays and reshape work, a lot. And until you hear it, you asked one of the other writers what it's like hearing your words aloud. There are times you're like, wow, who wrote this? It could be good or bad. And, but it's really important to hear it aloud, because what's going on in your head is not going to be the same reaction that you get when you're in front of a live audience. So I think to keep writing, another writer mentioned write every day. I totally agree with that. I think, schedule yourself 2 hours or 1 hour, whatever your schedule can afford, where you write every single day. And even if it's, just re-editing something that you've done before or whatever, I think it's really good to get into that habit. And stay connected. It's an industry that's difficult on both sides for actors and creators, but the relationships that you make will help you throughout your career. You know, the getting known by the theaters in your community or by the actors in your community or whatever, just getting to know each other and staying connected. It'll help your career. Even if it's a hobby, it'll help you a lot. You know?
Yeah. Well, we have one last question and then we'll have to end it here. What is your next project? This is from Pebbles Lee.
Well, it's some other writers were saying too that they had stuff canceled. I was very excited because I got accepted into the William Inge Festival this year, which has been canceled. So that there's a play that's in development. It's a drama about it's actually back in the 20s in this country, there was believe it or not, there was a huge scare of leprosy and a fear of leprosy. And they built a hospital, Carville, to put these people in, and they were just sent there and forgotten. And their names were stripped from them and they had no friends. It went on for a few years, but it was a really serious scare. And this is about a report that they're now closing the hospital down, you know, years later. And there's one sort of octogenarian who lives there. And this reporter goes down to interview her and get her story and find out why she's still there. Because leprosy, in fact, has been cured since the 40s, so curable since the 40s. So anyway, that's the play that was going to be done at the Inge Festival. That's what I'm working on next. So,
well, we will keep updated with all of your works and upcoming works. We hope to see more once this is all lifted.
Yes, I'll come to Fort Worth. I'd love to see you guys live in Fort Worth. Thank you
so much.
All right, thanks again.
Good to see you back. We will see you back in about 4 minutes, and we'll see you for our last performance. Great. Bye, everyone.
Bye.